Okay, this video is going to be geared towards people who are looking to get back into running after being released from a boot due to a fractured ankle or a super sprained ankle. The key is that we are maximizing the effect and nerve response in the ankle to allow us to actually maximize overall ankle stability. And so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna build up ankle dorsiflexion, strengthen ankle dorsiflexion, and then work on ankle stability, which then will move up higher on the chain. And so the first things first is the goal is to get the body nice and warm. So I'm a huge fan of just marching in place. And your goal is when you're marching in place, you're taking your ribs and you're pulling it down. You can either march in place for 2 to 3 minutes, or if you have a bicycle, riding the bike to really just get those legs and body moving. But if you are going to be marching in place, making sure that those ribs are pulled down, because if your ribs are flared out, it puts a lot of strain on your hips and your low back. Now, once you are done with those 2 to 3 minutes, which if you want, you can go ahead and pause right now, but if you're done with your 2 to 3 minutes of cycling and marching, we then move on to actually building up some ankle positioning. So we have our ankle floss where you're going to get onto one knee, and the goal is to make sure that your thigh is in line with the second toe, which means that my knee isn't going in because that's going to facilitate a flattened foot. We can have that knee go straight forward or slightly out with the goal of having the foot point straight at 12 o'clock. From here, you're going to take your weight and you're going to lean your weight forward this way to make sure that you're able to really engage the ankle. We're addressing ankle dorsiflexion, which looks like this from the side, driving the knee forward. You can either bring your hands all the way down or you can just get onto one knee just like this. We're gonna go 30 pulses, or you pulse in and out for about 90 seconds, and you wanna do it for both sides to make sure that you are pretty stable. The next thing that we're gonna do is actually incorporate a lot of movement at the hips, because we want to make sure that the hips are moving as well as the ankle. We can't just have all the motion happen at the ankle itself. So the next thing that you're going to do is the following. We're going to do what is called a good morning. And you're going to put your hands on your hips, fingers on the front, thumbs pointing down, and you're going to bend your knees slightly. You're going to push your hips back, and you're going to let your torso come forward so that your hamstrings get really tight. And then you're going to stand all the way back up. You're going to bend the knees, push the hips back, stand all the way back up, bend the knees, push the hips back. As you can see, my back is staying flat this entire time. And your goal is to do 30 repetitions to get the body nice and warm. So go ahead and pause right there to complete your 30. The next thing that we're going to do is really going to warm up the ankle muscle. So I'm going to have you get onto the floor. And what I'm going to have you do is you're going to have either one foot or both feet out in front of you like this. If your hamstrings are too tight, your knees could be bent. What I want you to do is I want you to point toes up, point the toes down, toes up, and toes down. And this active motion is going to allow you to really improve the blood flow and allow you to actually build the elastic properties of your calf muscles. We're going to go 30 pulses as such. All right. Now that we got the ankles movement, if you haven't done already, go ahead and pause, because we're going to move on to the next portion, which is going to be our squats. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to get into the squatting position. You're going to put your feet about shoulders width apart. You want to make sure that your ribs are down, pulling towards your pelvis. Your feet are about shoulders width apart, maybe a little bit wider, and your feet are turned out no more than 1 o'clock. It's going to be facing straight ahead. You're going to take your hands, you're going to sit your hips back and down, drive those knees out and stand back up, because I want you to feel a nice little stretch right here in the inner thigh. Send the hips back, stand back up. If you look at me from the side, you're going to send your hips back, torso leans forward, hips go back and down as you squat. You want to really feel it in your thighs, more so in your hips. You're going to go 4 sets of 10 to really get the heart rate and the body moving. After that, we're going to go into some lunges, okay? This is going to be specifically a split squat. We're going to maximize stability in that front leg. So with the split squat, you're going to have one leg forward, the heel is going to be up, your weight is going to be centered on that front leg, You're gonna lower your knee down to the floor, vertical shin, stand back up, go ahead and lower and stand back up. If you look at my foot, it's not collapsing in, it's driving straight out so I can actually really maximize the activation of my glute. We're gonna go 4 sets of 8 per side, making sure that you lean forward. So go ahead and pause, 4 sets of 8 per side, rest as needed. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to focus on a little bit more unilateral stability. So this is actually where we're gonna be focusing on one-legged balance. This is how you're gonna do it. Take that one leg, you're gonna take your back leg, you're gonna slide your back leg back, and you're gonna lean forward, and you're gonna slide the foot back up, okay? So it's not leg balance, because that's a little too much. You're gonna slide that foot back, you're gonna lean forward, slide back up. That traveling leg is going to be very, very smooth, sliding back and then back up. You're gonna go 4 sets of 8 per side, so go ahead and pause that. The next thing that we're going to do is we're just gonna warm up the calf muscles, just get you prepared for running. So we're gonna start off with 30 to slight bounding, so you're gonna get onto your heels, and we're gonna get 20 heel raises. And then after you do your 20, you're gonna shake it out. And then we're gonna go a little bit of bounding where we're kind of just a little bit faster. We're gonna go 20 bounds, and I want you to kind of lean forward, okay? Because when you lean forward, you're gonna start to create that forward momentum when it comes to running itself. All right, so we're gonna go, you have your 20 raises, you have your 20 bounding, okay? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go 20 where you're just gonna go on your toes, nice and gentle, because this is gonna be our jogging pace. 20 steps or 20 per side. And then 3, 2, 1, time. And then you're ready for a run. So we're gonna be starting off at 20 minutes, really just trying to get your body moving, making sure that your arms are moving, that you're having short steps and you're leaning forward. The key when it comes to running is you wanna make sure that you are feeling what your body is doing in space. So what that means is you want to make sure that you're not slamming, that you're not super light, and that every ounce of energy that you're creating is focusing on traversing across the land versus straight up and down. So I hope this is helpful.